Hey guys, today I wanna talk about the things that I really think that should be improved in Path of Exile 2 in the end game, because there are other things like quality of life and stuff like that, but today I wanna hyper focus on the end game. Why? Because recently I completely beat the game. I completely beat everything in the game, all the pinnacle content. So basically there is nothing more for me to beat in here. So now I think that I have like a big perspective on all of this, you know. Since the purpose of this video is talking about things that I want to be changed, this might sound like I am being negative about the game because I am going to only talk about negative things, right? But that is not the case at all. If you have been watching my videos, you know that I think that the game is awesome, that it's a masterpiece, that it belongs in a museum, and it's fucking art. I love the game and I am addicted even 3.5 months after it has been released. But if I wanna talk about feedback and stuff that needs to be improved, it is going to sound like I am being negative, but I am doing that, providing feedback for things that I think should be improved. If you have been following my videos, I am going to probably, some of the things that I am going to say, you probably have heard me say them before, but I am going to condense all of them in just one package, you know? So if you have missed one of them because they have never been in one place at the same time, this is the one place at the same time. Now, if you wanna know if someone beat Path of Exile 2, everything that the game has to offer, you have to come here in the passive atlas tree, and you will see that if someone has 30 out of 30 in the main skill tree, that means that they did all the tiers 15, tier 16 maps. If you come in here and they have 10 out of 10 in the map boss, that means that they did a map boss in a tier 17, I believe, or 18, that you have to have corrupted map and corrupted waystone and irradiated too. And then you get the last 2 points for killing the arbiter for the first time. To get 8 out of 8 in here, you have to kill the arbiter 4 times. To get 8 out of 8 in the delirium tree, you have to kill the simulacrum 4 times. And not only 4 times, so you have to put the points that increase the simulacrum difficulty, right? And that is in every tree. To get the ritual, the 8 out of 8 in ritual, you need to kill the king in the mist 4 times. In the expedition, you have to do the logbooks to do the old road boss fight 4 times. And in the bridge mechanic, you need to kill the boss says, I believe it is called the Wither R1 in the twisted domain 4 times. That is how you know that someone killed all the pinnacle content. There are 2 more encounters that are not related to this. I also cleared those. It is the trial of the Sekemas, the last boss, that is called Sarok, and the trial master, that is the last boss in the ultimate trial, the trial of chaos. Now, this is just so you know that I clear the content, right? But also, this ties to my first point of feedback, and I know, long intro, I am sorry, but this was important. Not only to establish that I clear the content, as you can see here, but also to establish my first point of feedback. And it is that when you get to the end game in Path of Exile 2, of course, this is clean. There is nothing in here. You earn your points in this tree right here, in the main tree, by doing your maps. You do, like, I don't know, 6, 3, I don't remember how many, tier 1 maps, and they give you the first 1 or the first 2 points. And progressively, you get more points. Hey, it makes sense, it is easy. You go tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and you are getting points in your Atlas 3. Awesome, it makes sense. The problem goes, and it also makes sense for the map bosses, because when you get to a mass boss and you kill it, then you get points in this one, you get harder bosses, and you get points in this one. These 2 trees make sense. Cool, I love it, we are happy. The problem is when you come to these other maps right here that you have around. And the simpler one that I can put you is the bridge one, because it is the one that people did the most, because it was the most profitable one. The people really like the bridge, so I will use it as an example. What do you need to do to get points in the bridge Atlas 3? In this little thing that you have in here. You get 2 points by doing the content. So you need to go to the twisted domain and kill the boss in here, and then you get the 2 points. So you say, how do I go in there? Well, to go in there, you have to get 300 of these little things in here that are called bridge splinters. You can see a stack size I have 278 out of 300. So with 300 breach splinters, you get a breach, you transform them into a breach stone. You use the breach stone on your map device, you go to the twisted domain, you fight the dude, you kill him, and you get the 2 points. What is the problem? Getting this shit in the first place. You need 300 of them. How do you get them? You have to do breach maps, like with this mechanic right here that you can see the little purple hand. In those, you do the breach mechanic and they drop the breach splinters. The problem is that when you don't have points in the map in the first place, you don't get enough splinters. It is a pain in the ass getting the splinters. And the way you get more splinters is having points in here. You can see that I have points like 75% increased quantity of breach splinters dropped by breach monsters in your maps. You can also get more breaches, more hands, more monsters, more everything. So it is counterintuitive that to be able to get the breach splinters, to be able to go to the place and fight the dude, to get the points that give you the breach splinters, it is like the other way around. I don't know if I am explaining myself the correct way, but basically, the first time you go and do this shit to get your first 2 points, the majority of people or take a long time to get the 300 breach splinters, or they just trade for the breach stone, because you can come to the currency exchange and buy the breach stone, and that shit makes it better, faster, right? There it is, the breach stone. You can just buy the breach stone, and that way you get your first 2 points, and then you get rolling into the mechanic. What is the change that I think they should make? The first time you go to the place, it should be just a quest. So you get your first 2 points and you get started in the mechanic. Because just starting out is backwards. You don't have the points to get the splinters. So you are locked out of the mechanic unless you trade for it. In my opinion, that should then be the way it should be. You get, I don't know, to your tier 15 maps, you already clear all this shit, and the next quest they give you are the quests for the different mechanics. Hey, go to the twisted domain and kill the dude. The first difficulty, it is free. We are giving it to you. You get the first 2 points. Now you are on your own. Okay, that is great. And the same goes for Expedition, the same goes for Delirium, and the same goes for Ritual. In fact, Ritual is even worse, because for Ritual you have to get the Audience with the King, which is even rarer than a Bridgestone, and it is really, really expensive. So it is even worse. And with the logbooks, it is this is the stupidest mechanic in the fucking game. I was even going to make a video just talking about this shit, because you aren't, with the Bridgestone, you are guaranteed to fight the boss. With the Simulacrum, you are guaranteed to fight the Simulacrum encounter. And with the King in the Mist, you are guaranteed to fight the boss. Those are like the 3 currencies that you need to fight each boss. To fight this boss, you need something called a logbook that is dropped by the Expedition mechanic. But when you use a logbook, you are not guaranteed to find the boss. In fact, it is like a 20% to fight the boss. So you need to have at least 5 logbooks, and that is if you are lucky, to fight the boss once. So it is RNG to get the book. It is RNG to find the expedition in your map. It is RNG to find the logbook. It is RNG to fight the boss inside of the shed. And then when you actually kill the boss, if you are looking for a specific item, it is RNG to get the item. There are too many layers of RNG with this shit. But all of the mechanics follow exactly the same pattern. They should give you a quest to get you started in this shit. And then you come to the Arbiter of Ash. In fact, I think that the Arbiter of Ash is kind of okay, because it is the ultra pinnacle content. And you don't need like the extra drop rate or whatever. You can just get the fragments from the citadels and go there. What they need to do is improve the citadels, because there are not enough citadels. I play this game all the fucking time and I can see citadels in my shit. Like, what the fuck? Where are my fucking citadels? I get citadels every few days. Like, no, the beam of light is supposed to help you with citadels. That shit is not helping me. There are no fucking citadels in this shit, dude. So they need to give more citadels. Oh, there is a citadel right there. Okay, I found one. Nice. But yes, there are not enough citadels, bro. So there are not enough encounters. And then when you get to the encounter, hey, they did something cool, which is that it used to be that you died once and you are out of luck. Now you have five, I believe 4 or 5 the first time. And when you get higher and higher in difficulty, they just take ties away from you. until when you are in the highest one, it is just one try, you know. So at least you can learn the fight now, and before you weren't able to do that. And that connects to my second point, that's about something that they should improve in the game, and I do think they are going to improve it somehow, and it is that dying in maps is too punishing. I have said this before, I like that dying is punishing because this incentivizes you to build a character that doesn't want to die. You have to build your defenses, you have to be engaged in your gameplay because you don't want to die. That is awesome, dude. I don't want people just playing with a glass cannon build or not caring about the game. I know that a lot of people like that one-hand gameplay, looking at the other monitor and just clicking here and clicking everything and killing everything. I don't like that gameplay, and that isn't the game that I fell in love with in the campaign, which was a slower combat engaged mentality. That is what I want to see in the end game, right? So the punishing aspect makes it so that is more the case. So I like it. The problem is when you make it over punishing to the point that it is not fun and it is unfair. So first of all, you can die by bullshit in this game. So when you have mechanics that kill you out of nowhere and feel like bullshit and feel that they are unfair, then when you compound too many punishing aspects, I just want to alter for the game. So what are the punishing aspects? You can see right here in the map that I have, let me see a map that has a lot of things. I don't know, like my boy Elon Musk said, that has a lot of things. Well, I don't know, this one, it has Breach and Delirium, right? If I go into this map and I die, I lose the Breach and Delirium, and then when I come back, the map is like this one that has nothing. So that is the first thing you lose. You lose the mechanics in the node. So you are now incentivized to not run that map, but if it is a connecting node that you have to do, I don't know, like this one, if I come from here and I want to come to these places, I have to do this map, right? So now that there is nothing in there, I am still forced to do it, and that feels shitty. Now, if you are using your maps, then you also lose currency, because when I am going to run a map, I have this shed right here, I craft on top of this map, I send it the other way, I craft on top of this map, I exile this shed, right? Then I put it with Delirium, because I want to have more extra stuff in there, and then I valor that shed. Now, in there I put several exalteds in value, not only the exalteds I use directly, but also the valors and the Steel Guild, right? So, this map, just its existence, it has a lot of currency in there. If I die with this map put in the way, in this chain, I lose the Waystone too. So, I am losing two things, the mechanics in the map, and I am losing the Waystone. Now, if at the moment you die, there is stuff in the floor, you also lose that because you are kicked out of the map is closed, it goes away. So if you didn't pick up something, that is lost too. Anything else that you didn't kill in the map, that shit is lost too. And not only that, but now you are forced to do this shit again, because or you don't have to do that node and you just go and fight another way around because you don't want to repeat that shit. But the cherry on the top of all this compounding amount of shit that you lose, because you are also losing time, which is the worst thing, you also lose, I believe it is 10 or 15% of your experience. So it is just shitty, bro. Dying is too much. You are taking away 10% of my experience, 15% of my experience. In level 90 plus, I am level what with this one? 92. Level 92 plus, that is a lot of time playing the game, you know? Like, you are fucking me in the ass and you just make me want to not play the game. I am losing too much because of one little mistake, and sometimes it is not even a mistake, but it is just the game being bullshit. So, okay, be punishing, but remove something. It is too much. Like, don't take away the mechanics, or don't take away the Waystone, or if you are going to take all that shit away, I don't know, don't take away my experience, or take away my experience but don't take away the other shit. Something has to give, because it is too much punishing at the same fucking time. It is too much. Like, it is, when they revealed this, I said, well, the game is semi-hardcore. No, this is like only 5 degrees off from hardcore, dude. This shit is almost hardcore, dude. It is too much, dude. And I tell you that the game kills you with bullshit sometimes, because in the end game, and this is the third thing that I want them to change, the game transforms into a whole other beast, dude. The mobs and the bosses and the rares are cracked, are smoking methamphetamine. They are going at 500 miles per hour, and you are not as fast. And that is why the game devolved into 10 builds that can handle this cracked out bullshit, you know. And everybody loves the campaign. It has been praised a lot. The slower gameplay, the way you roll and you fight the mobs and the bosses, everybody loved it. But that is one game, and when you get to the end game, then you face a completely different game. Everyone is cracked, and you have to adapt your build to that new gameplay, and it is no longer the same game. You are no longer trying to do the methodical combat. I dodge, I hit. Now you are in a game where it is one shot or get one shot. If you don't one shot, you are dead. 2 one shots. So it is bullshit, dude. And the worst offender in that shit is the simulacrum encounter. Like, this shit, it has to be the delirium mechanic. You have to do the simulacrum. This shit is going to be nerfs or balance or whatever, because to be able to clear this shit, you need to play like a super cracked build where the mob doesn't have time to come and hit you, because if they hit you, you are dead. So you have, the moment they spawn, they have to die. So you have to one-shot everything. It is fucking bullshit. I hope that they slow down the game, dude. I hope they slow down the game. Not only us, but more importantly, the game itself, the mobs, the maps, the bosses, because we are trying to go fast because the game is pushing us to go fast. The game is pushing us to go the other way, that the early game or the campaign wasn't like that. I understand that the end game was thrown together to be able to have something in there, and they just put 4 mechanics that they found from PoE 1 into PoE 2, and they threw that shit together, and that is why we have this end game. But hey, it is a completely different game. I understand that an ARPG needs to have this power fantasy that your character goes from being a weakling to being a god. That is okay, I agree with that. But the jump in PoE 2 is too big, and it goes out of hand, and it is insane. And then you can do your homegrown build, because the mobs are going to destroy you, and you have to go for something cracked like this abomination that shouldn't exist. And I hope they completely nuke it from orbit in the next fucking patch, dude. So yes, please, slow down the game. I am not saying this should be like Act 1. I understand that the game has to get crazier and faster and bigger. I also want that, but make it still engaging, not this shit that I am just going around here and everything is deleted, and if I don't do it, everything deletes me. That is not the game I want to play, dude. And that connects with my criticism of the mechanics they decided to bring from PoE 1 to PoE 2. If you can see, they introduced 4 mechanics that were in PoE 1 to PoE 2. Breach, Expedition, Delirium, and Ritual. Again, guys, if you are a new player and you don't know what this means, I am not going to explain each one, because this is an end game video. You are supposed to know what this shit is, right? But this connects with another problem. So there is 2 in 1, like 2 things that I wanted to say adding here. First of all, the selection of mechanics that they did that come from PoE 1 to PoE 2, and 2, how they assume that you know what these mechanics are. So let's go for the first one, because it connects with the previous point. The selection of mechanics. So Breach is a mechanic where you stand on top of the hand and it opens up, and it has a timer. You have to kill the mobs fast, because if you don't do it, the breach closes and you lose your opportunity. That is a type of mechanic that is designed for a PoE 1 style of play. When you zoom, you go fast, clearing everything in the breach, so you it doesn't close. The mechanic is made to be fast. In PoE 1, it makes sense because you are going fast. But if I want a slower game, if I don't want the game to push me to go fast, then the bridge mechanic doesn't make any fucking sense, because it is a mechanic that is intrinsically designed to go fast, fast, fast. So the game itself is pushing me to go fast, and on top of that, the bridge mechanic is like the most broken mechanic for currency. So you need to have a build that is good for bridge, which means it's a build that goes fast, fast, fast. So the game is still pushing you in this direction. I think that this mechanic is antithetical to what PoE2 was supposed to mean, and it makes me think that we are the ones that thought that the game was supposed to be slower. And maybe GGG never thought the game was supposed to be slower. Like, the game was slower in the campaign, but they always thought that it should be fast in the endgame. And I am the one that I am thinking that the game should be slower, because the inclusion of this mechanic made me think that they say, hey, fuck it, go fast. Now, Expedition is just localized to a single point. You are not pushed to do it fast. I am okay with Expedition. Ritual, same thing. You are in just one circle. There is no timer. You can do Ritual. I am fine with Ritual. But the other problem is Delirium. Delirium basically is something really similar to Bridge. When you start a map, you go through the Delirium mirror and the fog starts expanding out. You have to keep up with the fog. If you stand your ground, the fog goes away and you lose the fog, the Delirium, and the mechanic is over. So you are incentivized to keep up with the fog, go fast, 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 clear the map fast, because if not, the fog is going away and you lose the mechanic. Again, you are incentivized to go fast. And the two mechanics go even further when you go to the pinnacle encounter, because in the bridge, you don't go into the twisted domain and fight the boss right away. You have to do a big bridge with a timer, and if your build can't clear up the mobs at the speed that the timer has, then you don't even reach the boss and you lose the map. You lose the pinnacle encounter already right there. And the simulacrum is even worse, because it is like a vampire survivor shit that you are standing in the middle and the mobs come at you in waves, and there are a fuck ton of mobs, so you have to kill all this shit like what I told you. Kill or be killed in one shot. Like bullshit. These two mechanics are bullshit they are fun. I don't want you to think that they are not fun or cool and thematically awesome, but the way they are designed, they are antithetical to what PoE2 was supposed to be, in my opinion, or what the game made me think it was going to be in the early game. I am not saying necessarily they shouldn't exist in PoE2, but they should have been tweaked or transformed to be more on par with Path of Exile 2 style of combat and gameplay, you know. And that, as I said, there is a second component to this, which is that the game doesn't tell you shit. And this is a big problem. The game eases you into the mechanics at the start of the game, like to gems and to the passive skill tree or whatever when you are in the campaign. But once you are out of the campaign and you get to the end game and you encounter Bridge, Expedition, Ritual, Delirium, you don't know what these things are. You know how I knew how you do an Expedition, how you do a Delirium shit? By looking at a video on YouTube, by Googling this shit, because the game doesn't tell you anything. Do you think the game tells you that you have to keep up with the fog to get the Delirium splinters, and when you get 300 Delirium splinters, you get something called a simulacrum, and you have to put the simulacrum in the waystone to go to the place, and then you get the 2 points? The game doesn't tell you shit. This, I know it because I looked at it on a video on YouTube. So for new players, the game assumes that you know what this is, because hey, they played PoE1 for 10 years, they have to know this shit. No, there are a lot of new players that never played PoE1, and they don't know what the fuck Ritual is or what the fuck Delirium is. The game has to explain it to you. They don't tell you shit, and that is one of the stupidest things I have ever seen in my life, because it doesn't take any amount of extra work putting an NPC or Doriani itself telling you this works like this, like that, like that. You could say that the mechanic that kind of does that is Ritual, because in Act 1, Finn makes you find a Ritual bullshit with the Phaethon, I believe so, and you find the kid in the mist or whatever. But still in there, where you are supposed to be introduced to the mechanic, you do the mechanic, but they don't explain it to you. Okay, they can tweak it and explain it, but what happens to the other mechanics soon? Let's assume they are going to explain to you Expedition in Act 4 because you are going to find those dudes in Act 4. I don't know. I just think that they should explain better the mechanics in the game. For example, look, this shit is Expedition. You have these dudes in here. You can like gamble or do shit with these people. Who explains to you what the fuck is exotic coin, as broken circle artifact, and buy to them and craft with these guys? You can craft with these people apparently. Who explains that shit to you? Nobody. You have to go to YouTube and figure this shit out. And this is apparently like you can buy and craft stuff with these guys. What the fuck? How does this work? Nobody knows. YouTube, dude. Because the game isn't explaining this shit to you. That is a big problem in my opinion. I know that a lot of people have problems with the map layouts, with the tower system or whatever. If GGG feels that those are problems, they are welcome to change it. In my personal feedback of the things that I think are problems that would greatly improve the game, I am not talking about that shit. Because honestly, and I understand that this is me, I understand that some people don't like layouts and don't like towers. But honestly, for me, I don't even look at the name of the layouts. I just play the map. I don't care about layouts. I have never cared. I also don't care about doing towers. I put the tablets and everything is Gucci. I don't give a fuck, dude. So, and everything works out. And some people say, no, but you have to do it because of... No, you don't. Look at this. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do that shit. So don't give me this crap. You don't have to do it. You care because you care. I don't know. Because you saw a YouTuber that to be hyper efficient, you have to do it this way. And to farm, I don't know how many divines per hour. That is what... Oh, I have another one in here. So no, that is not the case. That is not the case. You can do this shit normally. Everything will work fine. So I am not including that in my shit. But what I am including is that GGG should give you more ways to manipulate this. What do I mean? In PoE 1, I recently played the Frisia event in PoE 1. And honestly, the game is awesome. I really liked it. But something that I thought that was, let's say, bland or lacked flavor in PoE 1 was that when you are going to do a map, you come to the map device and you don't open this, but you just open a little square in the screen. You put the map and the portal opens up, which makes you feel, or at least me, that you are like playing a Stargate and you are not actually traversing a world. Like, that is why I say it is like flavorless, bland. It is not necessarily bad gameplay wise, but it lacks flavor. I feel like I am going to another dimension to do whatever shit. But in PoE 2, I feel like I am traversing the world. I am walking towards the citadel. I am going towards an objective. I am clearing the corruption in the map. I feel like I am playing this fantasy in the game and it makes it cool. But we have a lot of gameplay problems related to that. So how do we fix it? Give me ways of manipulating the Atlas. For example, give me a craft item or an item that I can make a connection from here to here. That I don't know why you would break a connection, but okay, break a connection or change a connection. I don't know. There should be other stuff like changing the layout. People hate a layout. Give an item that you can re-roll the layout. Give an item that can re-roll a tower. Like, give me stuff that can manipulate the Atlas. I don't know. I drop a nuke from orbit and I destroy this lake and now it is terrain, you know, and I can walk over there. Give me stuff that can manipulate the space, and that way you keep the Atlas system and you give me another way of doing stuff, and it will be cool, right? I know that the most requested one is allow me to connect two dots. If you don't want to give it so easy to me, allow me to move a connection. Like I go this connection right here, I move it from here to here to here to here. It will make the same thing, right? And you can do more stuff that they don't come to my head right now, but you know what I'm meaning with allow me to manipulate the Atlas. And those are like the big things. Of course, you have smaller things like give me more bosses to fight. Like one boss every 4 maps is stupid. I want to fight a boss every map, or at least 1 in 2 maps. You can also say that they should improve how rarity works because it affects currency, and that is bullshit. That they should improve balance, but we know that balance is always improved every time a new patch drops. They do a balance pass, so why dwell on that? There are a lot of other criticisms towards the whole game that have been made to death, so I didn't want to just repeat them like, oh, there is no crafting, improve crafting. Yes, everybody knows that they should improve crafting and that they will probably improve crafting, so there is no point in me repeating that again. Plus, it is not, but it is related to Endgame, but it is not focused on Endgame. It is for the whole game. Crafting is for the whole game. But I do think that with the things that I have said, they could greatly improve the Endgame. Make the game slower and closer to what we learned in the campaign. Make it so that you get ease into the mechanics. Explain to me how the mechanics works. Make the mechanics work akin to the speed you are expected from the player. Ease me to the mechanic with an introductory quest that gives you the first 2 points to the mechanic so that you can get into the Atlas skill tree. All of this would greatly improve your experience in the end game, dude. And of course, the biggest one, don't punish me so much when I die. It is good that you punish me somehow, but right now it is too much. So yes, if you ask me things that can be improved in the game overall, I am hyper fixated in the end game in here. I can do a separate video for that, but I could tell you the end game punishment for dying would still be one of those 5 things for the end game overall. Of course, you have to include crafting in there. The other big one for me, but it is not hyper specific for end game, is trading. Trading sucks in this game. They need to improve trading. So there are other things that can be improved, but I wanted to focus from a pinnacle content perspective in this video, right? These are the things that I think could improve the end game from a pinnacle content perspective. So I hope someone at GGG watches this video and takes something from it if they are not already working on this, because maybe they already know these things and they are fixing them already. Again, I can do a separate video for the game as a whole, and I already gave you 3 of the 5 things that I would want to see improved. The punishment, the crafting, and the trading. I will have to think about the other 2. But yes, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did you clear the pinnacle content? You didn't do it. Why you didn't do it? If you cleared it, what are your problems? Do you agree with me? You don't agree with me? Am I crazy? Am I a genius? Am I a clown? I really, really want to read your comments. I always like reading comments. I always tell you, I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. It is cool because, let's be honest, it drives engagement in the video for YouTube, but also I like reading comments. It implies that the person, even if they disagree, was motivated enough through the video to take the time to write a comment. That is fucking cool, dude. That is fucking cool. So I do love it. Love reading the comments, engaging in the conversation and all of that. But on top of that, this topic, like, it is important to me. I like this topic. I want to keep the conversation going. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below, please. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are fucking awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.